I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV daily news program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association. That's the special district association responsible for bringing the area free-to-access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there's a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us. The station number is 970-677-4119. If you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Monday program for March 16th, 2020. DCTV Daily News. The San Juan Record News out of Monticello, Utah reported on development efforts that have stopped on 2 oil and gas leases just north of Bluff. EOG Resources, Inc. notified the Bureau of Land Management, or the BLM, of the decision on February 28th. The decision comes on the heels of a resolution by the Bluff Town Council in early February to oppose the development of the oil and gas leases. There were concerns in the community that the wells, if developed, would use fracking technology and possibly contaminate the aquifer that supplies Bluff the drinking water. The issue was the focus of an exchange between San Juan Commissioners Willie Gray Eyes and Bruce Adams at a February 4th meeting of the Commission. Gray Eyes expressed concern about the possible health impacts of contaminated drinking water, while Adams stated that the oil reserves are thousands of feet below the water aquifer and that even if the worst-case scenario occurred, it would take thousands of years to impact the drinking water. In addition to taking steps to protect the community water system, the town of Bluff is also attempting to secure funding to purchase the building that currently houses Bluff Elementary School. A new school is currently under construction so that the old building will be abandoned after the current school year. Funding to help Bluff purchase the building is being pursued in part from the Community Impact Board, or CIB. CIB funding comes primarily from oil and gas leases. The BLM has stated that the environmental assessment on the project will not proceed further since the leases have been abandoned. EOG Resources is a Fortune 500 company from Houston, Texas, that is involved in oil and gas exploration efforts across the globe. The company was known as Enron before 1999. And now let's take a look at the local weather for the next couple of days. Today, Monday, mostly sunny skies with a lovely spring-like warm high near the 56-degree mark. Tonight, Monday night, mostly cloudy and a low around 35. Then for Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, partly sunny with a high near 57 degrees. Tuesday night, partly cloudy and a low around 35 degrees. And Wednesday is now looking like there's another chance for rain and snow showers coming back into the forecast. Otherwise, mostly sunny and a high near 53 degrees. Wednesday night, that chance of rain and snow showers remains with mostly cloudy skies and a low around 30. And now, back to the news. From the Associated Press in national news out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, former Florida Democratic candidate for governor Andrew Gilliam is named in a police report on Friday, saying that he was inebriated and initially unresponsive in a hotel room where authorities found baggies of suspected crystal methamphetamine. Gilliam, the former Tallahassee mayor who ran for governor in 2018, is not charged with any crime. The Miami Beach police report says Gilliam was allowed to leave the hotel for home after he was checked out medically. Gilliam, age 40, said in a statement that he was in Miami Beach for a wedding and did not use illegal drugs. Quote, "While I had too much to drink, I want to be clear that I have never used methamphetamines," Gilliam said. "I apologize to the people of Florida for the distraction this has caused for our movement." And according to police, fire rescue crews who were called to the Miami Beach Hotel around 1 a.m. on Friday regarding a suspected drug overdose. Police say Gilliam and 2 other men were in the hotel room. Quote, "Mr. Gilliam was unable to communicate due to his inebriated state," the police report says. Gilliam, meanwhile, had stable medical signs when authorities returned for a welfare check and was allowed to leave the hotel for home, the police report says. Gilliam was the first black nominee in a major political party to run for governor in Florida. He lost narrowly to Republican Ron DeSantis in the 2018 elections. In 2019, the Florida Commission on Ethics found probable cause that Gilliam violated state ethic laws when he accepted gifts during out-of-town excursions with lobbyists and vendors and failed to report them. This included tickets to a performance of the musical Hamilton. A settlement of $5,000 was agreed to in that case. And from westward.com, Colorado's 2020 legislative session has passed the halfway mark, and several pieces of marijuana legislation remain in the works. No one expected this year's session to be as cannabis sexy as it was in 2019, when the General Assembly approved new laws authorizing marijuana delivery, social consumption businesses, and a massive update to industry rules and regulations, such as allowing publicly traded ownership of marijuana companies. This session hasn't been a total snooze fest, however. While we're still waiting for hyped proposals that would address diversity in pot industry ownership and statewide expungement of former pot crimes that are now legal, Colorado lawmakers have already considered bills that would protect employees from being fired for using marijuana during off hours. That bill, however, is now dead. There's one for protecting outdoor marijuana farmers during weather emergencies and more. Here's a breakdown of the 9 marijuana and hemp-related bills and legislative resolutions introduced so far. The summaries come from the text of the bills themselves, as well as their status. We'll update this list as the session continues. First off, HB 1080, remove residency requirement for marijuana license. And the summary on that is that under current law, all managers and employees of a medical marijuana business or a retail marijuana business with day-to-day operational control must be Colorado residents when they apply for licensure. The bill repeals this residency requirement. The status on that is that it passed third Senate reading with amendments. It's awaiting House approval. HB 1089, employee protection lawful off-duty activities. And the prime sponsors are Representatives Jovan Melton, District 41, Democrat, and the summary is that the bill prohibits an employer from terminating an employee for the employee's off-duty activities that are lawful under state law, even if those activities are not lawful under federal law. The status on that one is that it's postponed indefinitely by House Business Affairs and Labor Committee. HB 1150 is to repeal the House Bill 1912-63. Penalties for drug possession, which was enacted in 2019, which made changes relating to the offense level for possession of certain controlled substances and sentencing therefore, and enacted the Community Substance Use and Mental Health Services Grant Program. This bill's repeal provisions were enacted by House Bill 19-1263 and reinstates provisions repealed by that act. The bill makes possession of 4 grams or less of a controlled substance listed in Schedule 1 or 2 a Level 4 drug felony. Possession of more than 12 ounces of marijuana or more than 3 ounces of marijuana concentrate at a Level 4 drug felony, and possession of 3 ounces or less of marijuana concentrate, a Level 1 drug misdemeanor. The bill clarifies that a person may be arrested for the petty offense of possession of not more than 2 ounces of marijuana, and that a person may not be sentenced to confinement in jail for a first offense of abusing toxic vapors. The bill prohibits a court from suspending a sentence to complete useful public service pursuant to the Uniform Controlled Substances Act of 2013. That act requires a court to sentence the person to complete useful public service if the person receives diversion or a deferred sentence. Any person convicted of a drug offense must submit to the fingerprinting and photographing requirements of the act. The bill clarifies that persons convicted of Level 1 or 2 drug misdemeanors related to unlawful use of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana or marijuana concentrate, unlawful use or possession of certain synthetic controlled substances, or abusing toxic vapors are all subject to the same sentencing scheme as a person convicted of other Level 1 or 2 drug misdemeanors. The bill repeals the Community Substance Use and Mental Health Services Grant Program established in the Department of Local Affairs. The status of this bill will be heard by the House Judiciary Committee with a date yet to be announced. There is also HB 1217, Sunset Marijuana Financial Services Cooperatives. This bill implements the recommendations of the Department of Regulatory Agency's Sunset Review of Marijuana Financial Services Cooperatives by repealing the authorizing law. The status is that it passed the House. First Senate floor reading is scheduled for March 13th, last week. HB 1328 is outdoor emergency marijuana contingency plans, so that by January 1st, 2021, the bill requires the Marijuana State Licensing Authority to promulgate rules regarding the process and procedure for filing and approving contingency plans for outdoor cultivation facilities when when there's a threat to operations due to an adverse weather event or other catastrophe. A medical marijuana cultivation facility or retail marijuana cultivation facility may file a contingency plan with the state licensing authority, and if the plan is approved, may follow the plan if there is an adverse weather event or other catastrophe. Prior to January 1st, 2021, a medical marijuana cultivation facility licensee or retail marijuana cultivation facility licensee that cultivates marijuana outdoors may take any reasonable and necessary action to prevent or ameliorate crop loss due to an adverse weather event. The action is not a violation of state or local law or regulations unless the state licensing authority or local authorities can show that the action was not reasonable and necessary to prevent or ameliorate crop loss due to an adverse weather event. The status on this one is that it's a hearing with the House Rural Affairs and Agricultural Committee last week. SB 016 is called Notify If School Employee Gives Drugs to Students, so that under the existing law, a school district, charter school, or board of cooperative services notifies parents of students enrolled in a school if an employee working in the school or who had contact with students is charged with certain felony offenses relating to violence, drugs, or unlawful sexual behavior. The bill adds the following offenses to the parent notification requirements: any violation that involves the sale, dispensing, distribution, or transfer to a student of certain controlled substances, marijuana or marijuana concentrates, and unlawfully providing any alcohol beverage to a student or contributing to the delinquency of a minor relating to providing any alcohol beverage to a student. The status is it's passed the Senate and it's postponed indefinitely by the House Judiciary Committee. SB 097, unemployment insurance marijuana. Licensed businesses so that the current law states that a common paymaster is not a single employing unit for purposes of considering the services performed by another employing unit subject to a single or common payroll. The bill creates an exception for an employee leasing company or other employing entity that is owned by one or more persons who have a medical or retail marijuana license and who own at least 50% of an entity that shares the employee leasing company's services. The employee leasing company or other employing entity is not considered a common paymaster for the purposes of the Colorado Employment Security Act. The status of this bill is it passed the Senate, awaiting first House hearing with Business Affairs and Labor Committee. There's also SB 197. It's called Aligning State and Federal Law on Hemp. This bill aligns Colorado statutes on hemp with federal law, including adopting federal definitions, requiring authorized samplers to collect samples from each lot, changing the appointing authority for the Industrial Hemp Advisory Committee to the State Agricultural Commission, requiring that all key participants provide a criminal history record check from the Federal Bureau of Investigations, eliminating authority to grow hemp for research and development purposes, but authorizing a separate registration and waiver requirement, creating new reporting requirements, specifying unlawful acts, and creating civil penalties for violations, and giving the Commissioner of Agriculture investigatory and subpoena authority. The status is that it will be heard by the Senate Agriculture and Natural Resources Committee at a date yet to be determined. And finally, SJR 005, Support State of Colorado Comments Federal Hemp Rule. This one is concerning the General Assembly's support of the state of Colorado's written comments submitted on the United States Department of Agriculture's interim final rule regarding the establishment of a domestic hemp production program. The status of this is it passed January 27th and was signed by our governor on January 27th. Phew, that was a long list, but now you know. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. On March 19th, the State Line Bar and Grill will be celebrating St. Patrick's Day a little late this year, as they are only open from Thursdays through Sundays. So Burger Night Thursday will also feature a corned beef special and music by David Mensch, singing and playing live music from 7 to 10 p.m. They have a free shuttle. Call to schedule a pickup at 970-677-2649. And so far, the Four States Ag Expo is still a go at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds. That starts this Thursday, March 19th, and runs through Saturday. It's a 3-day event full of fun and education for the entire family. There'll be plenty of vendors, clinics, and games to please all ages in your family. Check out their online website for the full itinerary. That's for FOUR statesagexpo.com. And also celebrating all things spring on March 21st, join MORP in learning the valuable skill of grafting and take home 4 heritage apple trees grafted by you at one of Montezuma Orchard Restoration Project's upcoming events. There's a minimum of 10 participants needed and are required, and a maximum of 20 allowed. So please pre-register early to assure your place in the workshop, although you can register at the event, first come, first serve. Let them know what workshop you plan to attend by emailing MORP. The email is morp, M-O-R-P, orchard@gmail.com. And you can also pre-register and prepay at the donate button on MORP's website. Just write a note in the comment line or send them an email as to which workshop you paid for. The cost is $50 for current MORP members, $60 for non-members, and you may become a member at the same time as paying for your class. And I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is now DCTV Daily News, where you can also watch the program replay along with news, links, and stories of local interest. And you too can share other events or news by joining in on the conversation. Again, this is your local community TV station, so if you have something you'd like to share, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call us at the station 970-677-4119. Thanks for tuning in to DCTV Daily News. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online and on our YouTube channel or our DC Daily News Facebook page. And if you like the program, please do like us there and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Thank you for watching.